Right. So now you have set up your hardware. You have actually interconnected everything. Right. Your next step is to set up your software. Right. Very important. So what software are you going to use to program this? We all know it. Hmm? Yeah. So we are going to use the Arduino, and then you guys know what an Arduino is. So nobody's going to go there, right? But you know that the Arduino is a whole ecosystem, right? They produce microcontrollers, right? And they don't only produce the microcontrollers; they give you a software kind of a software that you can use to program the microcontroller, right? Without it, it means that your board is just a hardware, and then how to program it would have been an issue, right? But Arduino has made it so easy for you guys that it produces the board at the same time gives you the software to program the board. And it doesn't only give you the software, it makes sure that you have access to libraries. So the Arduino is very easy to program because there are a lot of libraries available, right? For instance, if I want to send some data from my PC to the Arduino board, right? We are going to use this cable. And then we know that this cable, the board has a hardware chip known as the UART. You guys know what that is, right? So to send data from this, from let's say I want to send some binary data from this PC to this board, I need this cable, right? And then this cable don't just connect, it is not just a wire. I mean, of course, it's just a wire. But there is a hardware here, right, within the PC, and then there is also hardware here that will make sure that you are able to send data from the PC to the board, right? And then that hardware component is just a chip known as the UART. You guys know what that means? No, yes. Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transceiver. I said, you are already trying to, but Google it or now, but Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transceiver. So what does is that we have the hardware component. Now, in case you are an embedded engineer, right, you shouldn't care about how this one even operates because there's a library, there's an Arduino library that you just call and give it the what the data. You just call the UART library, give it data, and then it will send it to it. Now, if you are a hardware engineer, right, it means that once you're coding from the scratch, you are using the HDLs as I talked about. You have to be able to know how this operates, and then you should be able to know how to write code from the scratch to mimic this behavior before it can work, right? So you need to know the difference between a hardware engineer and an embedded engineer, right? The embedded engineering is just so easy, right? I mean, there are libraries available for you through the Arduino platforms, right? A lot of libraries that you can use to actually program or talk to your board, right? So you are going to use the Arduino IDE you guys have seen before. I mean, Arduino IDE is just it's just specific. You guys know that it's just specific for the Arduino boards. You can't use it to do anything like your normal Visual Studio or stuff like that, right? It's just for these boards, right? And then, I mean, as I said, they just basic scrap. I'm even insulting you guys. You guys are just too. so you, so for those of you who have never used it before, yes, there is a site here. You go and download the software. It's free. If you are using Windows, I've provided the links for the Windows, Mac OS, and others. Now, after you are done with all of that, this is how the Arduino IDE looks like. You guys know that already. The interface already. We have the coding area, some kind of menus and toolbars, and then the file tabs, and then the console, right? You, you, you guys have seen it before. Yes or no? You guys have seen this interface before. Yeah, so easy. Now the most important thing is that once you install this the Arduino IDE, right, it comes with a pre-installed board, the board library, which is the Arduino Uno. That is the default. You don't have to install it if you have the Arduino Uno board, right? Now, but for the other boards like the Arduino Nano board, if you have never used an Arduino before, that's where you struggle a bit because you have to go and look for the specific kind of board you are using, whether it's the Nano or another board. You have to go and look for that kind of library on the Arduino platform, install it before it can work. If not, it will never work. You guys know that, right? Right. So here, you see, once you install it and then you go to, I think you go to Tools Board, and then you will see the Arduino Uno board already there. So all you have to do is that you have to search for the name of the board that you bought, and then you just install it. And you're done. It takes a long time, probably 3 hours, 4 hours for you to do. It depends on the board, but 3 hours, 4 hours, and then you must have very good internet connection. So once you are doing that, once you are installing, make sure that you have very good internet connection. If not, it will break and then you have to start all over again and stuff like that. Right? Now, after you have installed the board, uh, as I said, we are dealing with libraries, and then this board comes with some kind of libraries already. So when all you have to do is search for that library. So if you want to do any machine learning kind of if you want to do anything machine learning, right, you need the library there. So you have to just search for TensorFlow. You guys know what TensorFlow is already. Most of you have used it to design complex kind of machine learning projects, right? Who has used it before? All of you, I know. Right. So all you have to do is search for TensorFlow and then install that library, and then you can actually call it and then use it on the board, right? Hmm? There's no what? So you see, somebody is so advanced that. Who spoke to you? I spoke to you where? After your project. And I called you or something. Ah, you and some other guy. Where is he? Ah, okay, yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. Ah. Oh yeah. I forget. I forgot crowd. But you guys were supposed to come again. Okay, I mean that's fine. So after you've done that, there's another library very important, which is known as the Harvard Tiny Machine Learning Library, right? If you want to use components like, as I said, it has a lot of sensors on it, right? If you want to use the sensors on the board, you have to install this library also, right? So just search for the library Tiny MLX and then install it, right? Now, if you want to use some other library, there's another very important library which is known as the LSM library. Just search for it and install it, right? And if you want to use the Bluetooth on the board, right, search for the Arduino BLE and install it. So once you are done with all this installation, then you are okay to go. You'll be able to design any machine learning algorithm on this tiny board. Right, so those of you who are going to be designing your final year project with an Arduino, this you just have to install all the libraries and then you are fine. And now everything depends on you, right? How to call each library and stuff like that. Very very easy. Are you all there? Any question? Any question?